we're having salmon again. But this time with papaya and lime and teriyaki sauce and mango pineapple salsa that I'm afraid of because it has a lot of jalapenos in it. But I do like jalapenos, but not this many jalapenos, but it might be okay if I add some papaya to it. This looks like a very good papaya. All of the others I've had this year have been pretty yellow. There's dogs doing something beneath me. They did really well on their walk today. Saoirse saw many other dogs and she didn't ferociously bark at them and scare everybody in the neighborhood. So A+ for Saoirse. And then they got cupcakes. Doggy cupcakes. Saoirse! They are quite strange personalities. Hi, Sana. But I love them very dearly. I really didn't want to do this tonight because what I wanted to be doing was consuming multiple modes of entertainment through my phone and my iPad and my computer and every app on all of those all at the same time. But that's exactly why I should be doing this. Because that's not how I live my best life. And I sound like a podcaster that has some wellness take that actually a lot of people have at the moment, which is not a wellness take at all. It's scientifically backed that we should not be staring at our phones while we're trying to do other tasks. But I am genuinely convinced that this is going to improve my life, which is why I'm going to keep doing it. Hey, Senna, can you not jump on her like that? He speaks English. He knows what I mean when I say that. I am actually also convinced of that because he will do things for me when I ask him in words that I know he doesn't know, but I think he does know them. Or maybe he's just part of me. He has some of my brain cells. Maybe I have some of his brain cells. That's why we're both really, anxious. Senna, hey. To consolidate my thoughts about consumption, I don't think we always need to be consuming things. Be it food, beverage, entertainment, video game, anything else you can think of. Because I notice a lot of people in my daily life, and I am one of these people probably in some way also. I definitely am, but always putting things into our brains. No, I definitely am, because I'm always listening to podcasts, so I'm always consuming information, especially negative information, because the news is not happy, if you didn't know that. But I like to learn about things. But I don't need to be doing that 24/7. And if I'm not doing that, I'm listening to music. And if I'm not doing that, I'm probably looking at Pinterest, consuming pictures. And if I'm not doing that, I'm probably walking the dogs, which is very important. And then if I'm not doing that, I'm just listening to my to-do list. This is not necessary. I still haven't tried this mango, pineapple, jalapeno, whatever this is. It actually just tastes like dried oregano. I don't think there is dried oregano in this though. Peculiar. I want to be able to express that Taylor Swift would be a very good mother, and I think that they would have a nice family, but I don't feel like I should express that because pressuring people to be mothers is not nice. But it's different for her because she can financially support them, that I am certain. And they would probably have 5,000 square foot bedrooms. Plenty of space to run. And practice football. If they choose. Or they could be in musicals. Or they could do both. Like Troy Bolton. Though he played basketball. Speaking of basketball, Stephen A. Smith was on a podcast that I listened to recently. He yells a lot, which I knew because I used to watch him in the morning talking to Skip Bayless about Kevin Durant because I still really love that man. Kevin Durant, not Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless also loves Kevin Durant though, so I guess by, the transitive property, I might like Skip Bayless. But he gives me anxiety, actually. He always seems to be very on edge. I do like his brother, though. They don't sell his brother's salsa brand at Whole Foods anymore. Chef Rick Bayless, owner of Frontera Grill, to which I've never been, to where I've never been. I don't know what the grammatical structure of that sentence should be, but he has a couple restaurants in Chicago, and he made salsa for a while. Not anymore. I used to buy it though. It was better than this salsa that tastes like dried oregano. Stephen A. Smith does not let other people speak though. So I am curious if he's just always giving a monologue, like in his family. That can't be true. This is likely part of his character, his television persona. Yet I didn't think that could be possible because he was giving a very personal, maybe not personal for his standards, but it was an interview about politics, and he had a pretty direct, intimate relationship with the matter he was discussing, and so, I don't know. He wasn't open to other opinions, which is his loss. I don't know. I say I don't know at the end of my sentences too much. Because sometimes I don't know. I don't know a lot of things. But sometimes I do know. Okay, I've used all of the teriyaki sauce for the papaya, which was not the plan. But it was really good, actually. I don't normally have papaya in savory contexts. I normally put papaya in smoothies. In my Shrek smoothie. My Shrek smoothie, which is so ugly, but so great. It must be really difficult to be of a family where it's poor etiquette to scrape the plate, because I feel it necessary to get every single bit of everything off of here and do it in any way except licking the plate, which perhaps I've done in the past, like yesterday. But I don't think that I should do that because it's not that serious. I don't actually need every single piece of mango, especially because these mangoes are covered in jalapeno peppers. What was I talking about? I don't know. I can't tell if it's getting lighter earlier in the day or not. Because 2 weeks ago I was convinced that the sun was still out a couple hours later. And now I think it's dark earlier than it was when daylight savings, daylight spendings, whatever the one that just happened. Wait, that should be over soon, because it's always like the first 2 weeks of March, because it happened in the middle of the Junior Olympic swim meet when I already had to be at the pool at 5 a.m. At that point, just don't go to sleep, which I didn't because I was nervous. I was a nervous child at those swim meets. It was fun on the drive home though. But then I would immediately get nostalgic for the anxiety that I felt at the swim meet, because we'd be driving home after the meet and I would be so sad it's over. But I was so nervous. And then I was so happy, but then I was so sad because it's over and I was nervous and I was missing that feeling, which makes no sense. My nostalgia inside my brain, I think, just runs on overdrive, because I was also starting to get nostalgic for last summer, which was the worst summer of my life. And that's not something I want to think about very much. But I was starting to miss it and I couldn't figure out why. I was listening to the songs I was listening to over the summer and I was like, oh, this was so fun when you first listened to this Gracie Abrams album and you were walking around and it was 90,000 degrees outside and you were crying your eyeballs out and you were working too much and you missed your dogs and then you went to New York and then you were fine, because that's how that works. But I shouldn't be nostalgic for that, because I know that I was not having a good time. But that's over now. I still haven't watched The Brutalist. You're gonna get hourly updates until I do. Maybe not. I'll probably forget about it, actually. I was thinking this morning when I was swimming that a good sign that I'm doing okay is that I don't feel the urge to rewatch Fleabag, or actually there's a couple movies. Tick Tick Boom is one of them, or actually I tolerate emotional movies much better than TV shows, so I don't think movies apply. But Fleabag, Peaky Blinders, unfortunately. I really loved Peaky Blinders, but that's a nostalgia that I don't appreciate. That theme song would be a good alarm clock, though. If not the overture of 1812, the 1812 overture, maybe the Peaky Blinders theme song. I almost missed this piece of papaya. I most definitely will have a giant bowl of papaya at my wedding. I just envisioned that. I had a vision of a giant silver bowl of papaya with little lime wedges. It was on a beach too, so I'd best start looking for a venue for my wedding to my husband that I don't know yet. It'll be fun when we meet. Maybe we'll meet at our wedding. That's not appropriate. Some people do that, and that is very bad. But it's not very bad because I have no place to judge cultural norms. I need to stop talking about this right now. Well, actually, that reminds me that I paused the podcast episode I was listening to, which was an interview with Bill Maher, who has a show called Politically Incorrect. It's a very old show now. Well, very old being 30 years. Nevertheless, he probably would have kept talking. And that doesn't make me better than him. But what does make me better than him is that I think some of my opinions are correct and his are not. But I actually do like him. I do agree with a lot of what he says. And I'll never forget when Stephen A. Smith was on his show. That was a special time. And he was actually very prescient. He was basically saying that the Democratic failure of 2020, no, we did not fail in 2020, kind of, but the Democratic failures, perhaps of the last decade, were going to persist if drastic action wasn't taken, and that Donald Trump would probably win again. And such is life. That did happen. So though Stephen A. Smith is often wrong about the talents of Kevin Durant, he's got a point about the Democratic Party. A point that I will not reiterate here, because I don't think it's fair to paraphrase all of his thoughts, but primarily because then I would definitely be talking for 55 minutes and then not finish my salmon. It's truly amazing. Every Sunday, the RPAC, where I swim, so I should say the pool, because when I say the RPAC, I fail to realize that most people have no idea what I'm talking about. And I don't even know what it stands for. It's Recreation, Parks, and Center. That sounds wrong, because it is. But it opens at 10, but they let you indoors at 9:45 because they're generous and see us freezing outside. Why do I show up at 9:45 instead of at 10 when they actually open? Is a great question. Well, the answer is that I'm anxious and I'm early to things, but we line up as we do in civil societies, and there's always 3 or 4 people that walk through the doors, go all the way in front of the line, and then try to swipe their IDs to enter the pool, even though it doesn't open, and we're all waiting for what? What does it look like we're doing? We don't just enjoy standing here in this lobby. Unless that is your world perspective and you think that we're all just having fun with our thoughts. But you know what? It's really hard to be alone with your thoughts. Actually, most people are not being alone with their thoughts. Excuse me. They're on their phones. Which, fair enough. I'm usually on my phone. But not because I'm looking at things for consumption. I'm typically checking the time 80,000 times because I want to start swimming immediately. But they cut the line. When somebody says, we don't open till 10, and they say, why? And they're asking 19-year-olds that woke up at the crack of dawn to get the facility operating who don't know. Something that I'm trying to remove from my daily thought process, because it's become ingrained in my system, is this second consideration cycle where I'll think I want to do something and then I have to filter it through what will this list of people think of me if I do that. And it wastes a lot of neural energy, which is precious. Our brain uses a lot of energy though. But I'd rather not devote it to that, because it doesn't matter what people think about the socks that I chose. That's not what I'm considering. Be honest with myself. Senna's staring out the window. But that's something I consider. I post photos of my dogs on Instagram all the time. However, I have their own Instagram account because if I didn't, I would be posting even more of them. But then I post them on my other account, which kind of defeats the purpose, but not really, because there's still a little bit of, there's a degree of separation between my personal account and their account. But then there's also this other personal account that was my old account that was, basically she's gone. I don't affiliate myself with that version of me anymore. I don't dislike her, but she was suffering the life. She was having a poor time. What am I talking about? Oh, I used to consider whether people would think I would post too much of my dogs, and that's probably a realistic assumption because I post a lot of my dogs, but it's none of my business because I can't care what other people are thinking of my actions. And actually, I don't think they're thinking about it at all. I think that, well, I shouldn't assume for other people, but I think a lot of the times when I think that people are making negative judgments, they're actually just not thinking about it at all because it's not that important. Like the outfit that I wore on Tuesday left an impression on nobody except myself, which is exactly how it should be. And I don't know that for certain, but it doesn't need to be something that I think about after that thought. I like my outfit. I actually don't remember what I wore on Tuesday. I remember what I wore a couple other days. Tuesday was pretty cold, so we can just summarize my outfit by winter coat with boots and my headphones that I use as earmuffs. I've always meant to check if the battery dies when I do that, because technically they're on connected to my phone, but they're not playing anything because I'm too indecisive to decide on 2 songs to listen to from one class to the next. It's not, that's another thing not worth my time. It might be if I really feel a strong desire to listen to the first third of 1812 Overture. That could potentially happen. I got a new candle today. It's lit with my coffee candle, but the one that's new is the campfire candle. And I got it because when I was smelling them at the candle lab, I realized I can't smell anything. For some reason, they weren't giving any aroma. They weren't giving anything to me. And I couldn't tell if it was my nose or their dull, neutral candles. But now that this one has been lit for a while, I can definitely smell it. I don't think it smells like a campfire. I think it smells like somebody's laundry, and it's not bad. I like it. I can't smell the coffee one right now though. But things that smell like other things don't always smell like the things they say they're gonna smell like. Just like foods that taste like other foods, like chocolate chip flavored yogurt. Is that a thing? What's another example? I don't know, any protein bar, I guess. They like to say it's a pecan pie, and it's clearly not. But it occasionally gives the essence, which maybe that's as close as you'll get. But the foods like that kind of hurt my brain, because then I think about it too hard. Because then I'm thinking, this doesn't taste like, it just doesn't taste quite like a pecan pie, but it doesn't not taste like a pecan pie. It smells like one, but the texture is like rock hard. Or if it's not, I don't even know how to describe RX bars. The texture of those, not my favorite. I wonder if, well, actually no. There's a girl I went to school with. I was about to say, I wonder if anybody dislikes The Lion King. Because I was reminded of the music from that movie this morning. It's very emotional, and it's very great. And there was a girl who thought otherwise. I think she also disliked Up, and I think it's because they were sad, which I can respect that perspective. Okay. My butt done. Seems like it takes me 25 minutes to eat a piece of salmon with a couple other things. That's data about my life that I never knew I would acquire. Well, bye-bye.